This is Mccrackins on location in Aurora with legendary Roger Earl of Foghat. It is July 31st, 2009, and he's going to play tonight.
Always wanted to be in the marching band.
Yeah, I'm just curious. What drove you to get into the music business? No.
I went to see Jerry Lee Lewis when I was about 13 years old, and I'd already started like listening to records like by Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, stuff like that, and Chuck Berry, and just music. I just wanted to play. Apart from that, Dad wouldn't sort of help me buy a motorbike, so I've got a drum kit instead.
So did you do it in high school or back grade school?
I started drum lessons when I was 13 years old in school. I used to work after school and on weekends, so that's how I saved money for my drums and cymbals. They were very expensive back then.
Now prior to Foghat, when you started playing, did you play any other instruments besides drums?
I wanted to play piano, but my father played and my brother played, and the piano was out of tune, and they were a lot better at it than me.
Oh, I see.
But I can play like a 12-bar in C rather badly.
Well, I can't play it at all, so that's better than that. Prior to Foghat, did you ever get into any bands?
Yeah, I was in a band with a bunch of school friends called, what were they called? They were originally called the Concords. That's dating me. Then they became the Tramps when I was 17 years old. That was the first band I was in, and I went to school with everybody there.
But how long did you guys perform for?
We played together until I was 19 or 20. We backed a Jamaican artist who was on, actually I think he came from Trinidad, we got to get that right, Jackie Edwards, who was on Island Records. So we learned to sort of play in all the ska clubs
very
London,
nice.
Birmingham, Manchester. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, Jackie.
Now, was that cover at the time, or were you guys
Jackie Edwards co-wrote a number of songs for Spencer Davis group, Keep On Running, Keep On Running, a couple of others. So he was fairly well known in England, and had a number of hits in other places. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, I think it was in '71 Foghat was birthed, correct?
Yeah, but we were born in 1971.
Okay. The name Foghat, where did that actually come from?
No, we're Foghat. Lonesome Dave, our original lead singer, thought up the name from the Scrabble game when he was a young man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we were on our way to do the artwork for the first cover, and we didn't have a name for the band.
Is that right? Yeah. And did you all write the songs, or were the songs like personal, or were they like visions, or?
No, we weren't visionaries. We were a rock and roll band.
Okay.
Pretty straight ahead. Anything other than three chords has to be viewed with a certain amount of suspicion. I remember asking Dave one time after we'd finished Fall for the City, I said, "How many chords are in that, Dave?" And he said, "There's only three, Rog, but there's a couple of passing chords." So I said, "It's okay." He said, "Yeah, it's okay, Rog."
Now, when you guys get your when you guys get your first album out, how did you feel about that when the first album hit the shelves?
We were very excited. It took us 2 years to get it all done. Every record company in the world, all the majors and minors, turned us down. They all said no. So all you sort of budding musos out there who have been turned down by everybody, so were we, except for Albert Grossman, who had just started a label called Bearsville up near Woodstock, New York.
Oh, really?
And he came to see us in London when he was on tour with the band. And Todd Rundgren came in the studio and helped us out on a few tunes, and Dave Edmunds did, a number of other people as well. And Albert gave us some money, and here we are. We made millions for him.
God bless, huh?
Yeah, thank you, Albert. God bless his soul.
But your album, Fool for the City, when that one came out.
I think that might have been the fifth one, isn't it?
Okay. I remember when Fool for the City came out. Obviously, I don't remember exactly which album it is.
It was 1975.
75, okay. And you were sitting, and I'll never forget it because it was cracked me up. You're sitting in the middle of the street, the sewer cap's back. I think there was a Coke can, a fishing net, and you were sitting on a crate fishing into the sewer. I thought, my God, that back then it cracked me up, and now I look at it, I think it cracks me up. Oh, where did the artwork for that or the idea of doing that come from? And was there any meaning behind it?
Actually, the idea I think came from Nick Jameson, who was our long-time producer, and he was also the bass player on that album, and we're still very good friends. I think he came up with the idea. We'd probably been drinking wine on some other nefarious stuff, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. We were in New York City on a Sunday morning. We went in there and pulled up the manhole cover, and a couple of New York's finest came along in their car and said, "Hey, you got a license?" We all went, "Yeah, license for pulling up manhole covers." No, they said, "You have a fishing license?"
Is that right?
Yeah, they were great. New York's finest, they're the best.
Oh, that's great.
I live in New York. I live out on Long Island. Have done on and off since 1973. In fact, the first time I came to the US in 1967, I landed on Long Island. So it's a nice place.
Okay, so the slide that you guys added to all your music, where did that come from? Because that is just the slide that Brian does.
Oh no, talk to Brian.
Okay.
I'm a drummer, I don't know.
All right. The slide you guys use in the songs, where did that come from, or how did that originate?
Well, the slide, that was, it's a traditional element of Delta blues music, and has been, since the 50s. The original guitarist, Rod Price, was a fantastic slide player, and incorporated that into a lot of the Foghat's music. I mean, he was a big blues fan, and quite a follower of, a lot of the early blues slide players. And it's always just been a traditional blues element, and he brought it and plugged it into a Marshall and turned it up real loud, and and rocked it up a little bit. But I mean, it still had the same open E tunings that a lot of blues players used, and it just became a rock blues element for the Foghat songs. And Rod Price's first band, Black Cat Bones, was that it?
Yeah.
Roger, he was played in an English blues band named Black Cat Bones, and after the three members of Savoy Brown left to form Foghat, they brought him into the thing, and he brought that electric slide as part of their signature.
So that was already going on prior to.
Rod had already been playing that. Like I said, he was quite the blues guitar player, and brought that sound into the Foghat band, and it really differentiated the Foghat sound from lots of other bands that were out there. There wasn't at that time very many guitar players or very many bands that featured the slide. I think Johnny Winter, of course, is one exception. Was always a fantastic blues slide player.
Sorry, Brian.
Okay. And and of course Duane Allman. And they're both American players. So they were also influenced by the early American blues roots artists. But it was unusual at that time for an English band to come across with a blues-based slide.
So the slide's been out for quite a time prior to.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, slide is is a traditional American blues instrument. It's part of the tradition.
Is there a certain way you have to tune your guitar to play the slide?
It's an optional thing for the player, and some players feel comfortable playing in different tunings. The open E is a very popular one. That's what 90% of the Foghat songs are in. Open G is a tuning that a lot of guitar players use, I believe. Open G and open A is what Johnny Winters plays in. Duane Allman, I think he played in open E and also in standard tuning, and then Warren Haynes of Government Mule, and of course now the Allman Brothers plays regular.
We're going to switch gears now and talk about the airline.
Do we love the airlines? They charge you an extra $50 to put like a guitar on or something, and then they lose them. But today was really good. Brian's 1967 SG is packed inside a hard case, then put inside a soft case covered in foam, and then put in another case. They broke the neck on it.
Oh, geez.
Can you imagine that? I don't know the airlines. It's just something you have to deal with. Hold on, I have to go now.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for your time.
Talking to you, and everybody have a good time, and we'll see you later.
Okay, great. Thank you, Roger. Well, that was Roger Earl and Brian Bassett. They had to run, get ready for the show. It was definitely excellent. Mccrackins on location in Aurora.